Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nerd Rant. I'm Dr. Zombie, also known as Seth, with my co-host.
Okay, Junior Wolf, that was way too loud. I just spiked my thing, so.
Round of applause for JJ. So I actually talked with some people and I have an idea. So we got some questions here.
No, okay. I don't want you to get this. I want this to go on for a while. Okay, quick refresher. Anyone who hasn't listened to the past two episodes, we play a game at the start of every episode now. I'm watching a new anime. Seth has no idea what it is. I haven't given him any hints. He gets 3 questions every podcast episode. Seth, go back over what you've asked so far.
It is a slice of life. No. Is it a fantasy? Yes. High fantasy? Yes. Battle? No. OP main character? Yes. And fights with magic? Yes. It is not fairy tale and is not water magician. My first question, is the main character female?
Yes.
Is it free run?
Son of a gun! Come on, dude. That's cheating. No more talking to people.
No, it wasn't even, like, I'm just looking at, I'm like, someone said free roam, like, it wasn't even a conversation. I'm like, I wonder if that's high fantasy.
Darn it. I wanted this to go on for a while.
It was that first question. I'm just like, free run. It's like, because here's the thing. I asked my other friend, and he gave me like 5, and I'm like, it's not that, because it's you. And not in a bad way. It's like, these are like niche isekai, like the reincarnation, like crazy, trashy anime stuff. I'm like, you're not watching that. Like, so I'm thinking of mainstream high fantasy.
I had no idea how popular it was when I started watching it, because I had never heard anything about it before, and I was just like, oh, I actually found it through a song. Like, I was like, oh, this song is really cool, and the music video had like free-written clips in it, and I was like, oh, this maybe if like the song is inspired by the anime is cool. And I read about it, I was like, oh, this does sound interesting, and so I started watching it. Which, by the way, I have finished it.
You have?
What is out, yeah.
So then you should know that season 2 is actually coming out January, I believe.
Yes, I am excited.
Right around for second season. So for someone like you, we'll talk about this for a minute, because this episode is a little off, so we can kill an extra minute or 2 here at the beginning. How are you feeling about it? Because I will say, a lot of people weren't a fan of it at the beginning, and I think that's from the TikTok generation and Battle Shonen. We didn't start off with fights. It was not straight action. So it was very slow, and a lot of people didn't like it. However, if you really look at episode 1, I feel like there's more story in episode 1 and like character development and everything than like most battle shonen, like Dragon Ball.
I actually really like this as opposed to a lot of other anime, because I don't like the like basic anime tropes. I do not like, battles that last 4 episodes. I think that's kind of dumb. And like, no offense if you like that. Cool, awesome.
No, it's a different thing.
Good for anime watchers.
A specific medium. If you don't like that, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
However,
I just don't like how that goes. But that doesn't mean I don't like the genre. That doesn't mean I don't like the worlds that the animes create. And I think this one specifically, it allows you to look deeper into the world without, being dragged down by that, basic anime. Like, okay, we're gonna have huge magic fights for 3 episodes.
Which we do, but they're very different. They are not the same. It is not 1v1. It is more so, I'd say, like, the biggest fights were more so this person versus this person. Like, every person got an episode. Because I'll say the first demon fight around episode 7, that was a few episodes, but it was Stark versus that demon and Fern versus that demon. And
it wasn't exactly like the battle was the entire episodes. It was a lot more exposition, like here's a break between fights, like things like that. Like, yes, it was battles throughout the episodes, but it wasn't the entire episode was a battle.
So if you have seen Solo Leveling, how do you feel about the Aura Farmer Sun Jin Woo versus Aura fight? I'm a great mage who has lived for 1,000. That scene is like what sold. Well, no, it was the Fern fight. The Fern fight is what sold me. I'm like, this is like, people just need to wait. They need to have patience, because there is amazing fights in this. They just need patience, and that Fern fight is what paid off. But then the free run scene was also just immaculate.
No, at the end, well, by the way, spoilers if you're stupid, if you've been listening and didn't expect spoilers, but at the end with the dungeon and like the copies of each of them, when I saw the copy of Freewin, I was like, oh crap, things are about to go down hard. Because they've set up this character like she is insanely powerful, right? Like she doesn't
But she's
even fight
nonchalant.
often. Like she's so calm. She doesn't fight often. Like she even said when she had to kill her clone, like I haven't had to use that spell in like 80 years. Like, so they set up this character that's insanely powerful, and then making the clone of her that doesn't have a mind but mimics everything she does. You have now created a way to not only show off how powerful this character is, but not have it
Ruin the
You don't have to
character.
come up with a stupid excuse to get her to fight
Yeah.
because it's not her.
Yeah. I can't wait for season 2. I really can't wait just to see where it goes. But anyway, that's all we're talking about. We're talking about some other things that both of us have been enjoying for these past few weeks. Ghost of Yotei and Borderlands 4. However, there's one game I want to talk about beforehand that my one friend was playing last night. And I have a trial because of PlayStation Plus, right? And I played the entire trial, the entire hour, nonstop. And this game is very addicting. Can you guess what it is? It came out like a week ago.
I don't know, fight the brain rot.
Ball X Pit.
Ah. Okay.
It's an roguelike where like so pretty much it's like not pinball, like it's a classic mobile game, right, where you just shoot the balls up and you're bouncing trying to defeat everything and you get more, but it's an RPG roguelike type thing where when you go through you level up and you get extra like special balls that will do different abilities, like earthquake, it shatters in a 3x3 square, or lightning, strikes in, or vampire, and then you can combine them or level them up to make them stronger, and then you get more and more. You have main 4 special balls, and you have 4 passive. That is like every
like
time.
pinball mixed with Archero.
Yeah, except it's like super. Like, there's all these other mechanics, and there's different characters, and you have to complete it. Like there's bosses. It's really interesting. And here's the greatest part: it is $15. So I got the trial. I haven't bought it yet. I might wait a little bit because I have these other games I'm playing. But I don't know. I just played this for like an hour last night. I'm like, wow, I could see why for the last 3 hours when I was in the voice call, they're talking about Ball X Pit. I'm like, this can't be that good, right?
Suck.
It was.
There's some games that you don't expect to be addicting that just are.
No, they were talking about them. Like, what are you guys talking about? Because I'm on PlayStation, so I can't see the stream, right? The one guy was watching and like watching a stream and like giving him like, you should do this one, you should do that one. And I'm like, this can't be that good, right? Like, I'm thinking this is the pinball like Microsoft Windows XP game. Like, what is this that they're playing? But that's not the main game I've been playing. The main games I've been playing is Yotei.
Yes. So, what's the date? So today is October 25th. So Borderlands 4 has been out for a little over a month now, and Yotei, when did that come out?
It was during BO7, so the 2nd, I think.
Okay, so that's
about
like a
2
little
3
less than a
weeks.
month. So
Yeah.
both around the same amount of time, and we both been playing them basically since launch, right?
I mean, the problem was Black Ops 7 was out, so I didn't play it for the first week. So
I
only
didn't
really
play
been playing
Borderlands
2
for like the
weeks.
first week and a half, so.
Okay, so we're about the same. I think you've been playing it more-ish, though I don't know, because I feel like you leave your thing on, because I've been seeing that number on Borderlands 4 go up to like 12 hours. I'm like, I know you are not playing for 12 hours straight.
Yeah, no, what it is I get up every morning and I play it for like an hour, and then I leave it on because I know once the Xbox like goes into its sleep state, it puts it in quick resume. So I'll just leave it on and let it go into idle instead of doing anything else.
So do you know how much time you actually have?
I think it's actually pretty close to my time because once it goes into sleep, I don't think it counts it. Hold on, I should be able to check on my app. Let me pull it up here.
For Yotei, I am at 13 hours, which is not as high as I wanted to, but that's just because this last week. So I started a new job yesterday, and this last week I've just been busy kind of cleaning up my room and like just the house and all that kind of stuff. So I have not been able to play nearly as much as I wanted to. Also, Black Ops 6, and Fortnite seasons are about to end, so I've also been trying to finish my battle passes.
Yeah, I've been lagging behind on my battle passes.
It was fun though, because I've been playing Reload because I actually made the loot pool good. It's only the new map, and it's all rare chests, 100% chest spawn. So it's actually been really fun.
I swear I can look at my stats on the app, right? I'm not crazy.
I don't know. I don't use the Xbox app.
It's not loading anything, which is just dandy. That's so helpful.
He's played, guys. He has some time.
Yeah. Last
the
I
game.
checked, and this was like a week and a half ago, I had at least 20 hours.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I
you
have
definitely played
a
your
lot,
game more.
probably around 40 now, if not more.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of go through. How do you want to do this? Do you just want to talk about, like, because they're kind of similar games in a sense, so we can talk about maybe gameplay, the map, and just kind of go through and just each talk about our game?
Yeah.
So let's start off with just the intro / tutorial, because I know this game is a little different than the last ones, right? So because I've been seeing, I don't know if you saw the one Digimon game that's like rivaling Pokemon right now, and how people played for like 5 hours, and then the title screen popped up, and they're like, wait, I've been playing the tutorial.
Oh, I think it is tracking my time way over. It says I've been playing for 9 days. I don't.
Yeah, so you have not.
Yeah, we're gonna guess around 40 to 60 hours.
Let's go around 40. I think 40 is good. So how was the intro part to it?
Yeah,
Like,
so
the tutorial, all that kind of stuff.
it was a little rocky for me. That was probably the part of the game where I was the most unsure if I was going to like it or not, because obviously with how different this one is, it was going to be a very different starting point. And obviously, like, the opening cutscene was exactly the same. Like, oh, Marcus goes, oh, do you want to hear a story, eh? And so he tells the story, and that's like the what's the word, the exposition for the game, or it's like,
Yeah.
here's the setup, and then you get thrown in, or you pick your character, and then your basic, like, locked area, like, you got to get out of this base, and then once you're out of the base, it opens up into the open world, right?
Okay.
It was fun. It was well written. I was excited to see more of the characters from that, but as soon as it opened up into that open world, I was like, this is going to be so tedious, because I immediately saw how big the area I was starting in was, and I always do this as soon as I start a game, because it, like, helps me determine whether or not I'm actually going to care about collecting everything. I zoomed out, and the relative scale of the area that I started in to the rest of the world was, like, ginormous. I was like, this looks like it's bigger than Assassin's Creed Odyssey's map, and that is literally the biggest open world map we've ever had in gaming.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Needless to say, it was not that big.
Yeah.
Especially because the method of travel they give you is so, like, light speed fast that you just scale it so quickly. But there is a huge number of collectibles. Like, there's 4 main biomes, 3 of them are on the outskirts and a city in the middle, and each biome has at least 4 or 5, like, smaller divided areas in it to help you, like, digest everything that's in there. And it immediately gives you a way of tracking, okay, there's like 13 audio logs, there's 3 like collectible, they have like bolts in the back of their head, and you can collect them off dead people. So you can collect like 3 dead bolts, you can collect, what are the other collectibles in this game? Why am I forgetting? There's like these magical podiums that have recordings in them, stuff like that. It's mostly war stuff, or like loot chests and stuff like that, but it tells you immediately off the bat how many of each of them there are in these like other divided areas.
When you look at the map, is it like a checklist? Like, here's the 4 audio logs, 7 chests, 3 collectible things?
Yeah, it is. It shows it right there, and as you collect them, it updates it, and it'll mark it on the map. Like, there's a little icon, like, here's one you collected, and then there's another icon for here's an uncollected one that you've gotten close enough to discover. But that's the other catch, is that you have to get close enough to something for it to show up on your map. And with how big these areas are, it's not always super easy to do that. You kind of have to go out of your way unless like a side quest takes you to that area. There are some things that you're just not gonna stumble across unless you're outright looking for them. So right off the bat, I decided I was cheating, and I pulled up IGN's interactive map, and I've been like, for all of them, I've been like making sure as I go through that I didn't miss anything in the area before I move on to the next one.
So I don't know how New Game Plus is gonna work because obviously it's not out yet for Yotei, but I've kind of waited to 100 like do all that stuff. But I have been really taking my time. I have not gone through the story. Most of the story progress I have, because on PlayStation it shows the percentage. By the way, Tsushima, I finished in 18 hours. So Yotei, I'm at 13, and I'm only a quarter of the way. But I think most of that is getting the weapons. So, but for the intro for Yotei, I will say it was very interesting because, so I don't know, how much have you seen about the DualSense controller with Yotei?
I mean, I haven't seen a whole ton, but I would expect because it is a PlayStation local game, they're going to take advantage of all of its features, right?
They do. I saw a lot of people saying it's an ad. I'm like, if there's an ad, that's Astrobot. Not in a bad way, but like, no, it's just games don't take advantage of it. It's not an ad for the DualSense. It's just, it is a PlayStation exclusive right now, so they're taking advantage of the PlayStation hardware. So the very first thing you do is the main villain's the Yotei 6, right? It's 6 villains under the main lord, the shogun of the land, and you have to kill them because they killed your family, okay? So you're writing their names down on the touchpad. Like, I'm literally writing them down like in Japanese on the touchpad.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Like, and it's like the dramaticness of it. It's like the Oni, the Kitsune, the et cetera, and they're just writing it down. You're like scribbling. So that was really cool. And then you go from there. But then in the beginning, you kind of go through your past and your current self. And in the past, we see our brother and our dad and all that kind of stuff. You actually play the instrument again by on the touchpad sliding down on the neck until you hit that right note and it starts playing the song. Or I make a sword and I literally hammer it with my gyro controls, and I gotta put it back in the fire. I gotta flip it, hammer it again to make sure it's even. A lot of people are saying, oh, that's really annoying. I don't want it to cook a fish. I don't want it to... The thing I say to that, you could skip all this. If you really don't care, just skip it. I think it's a cool thing to add, taking advantage of the DualSense controller. If you don't want to do it, then don't. Because it definitely adds a lot of time, but I think it's cool. You even start fires by like sparking, and then you got to blow on it and, like left and right, making sure you hit everything. But after you go through that and you do like these intro things, and you actually defeat one of the Yotei 6. He's just a drunk. It was pretty easy, nothing too crazy. We ride off into the sunset until it starts playing the credits, and in this game, there's white flowers. Those make your horse run faster, so you kind of want to stay in them. You just kind of run down this hill going towards Mount Yotei, and then it's just cinematic, like, because I will say this is one of the prettiest games I've seen, especially on the PS5 Pro. There is Ray Tracing Pro. Like, it is really good visuals. Not the best, right? PC gets really crazy, but for the games that I've played, this is probably the best looking game I've played. And it just opens up, and then there you go. You start discovering, I think from there, that's where you go to your home, and you go back in time a little bit to your memories. And that's kind of where it starts. Like I said, the main thing is we just kind of go through. I'm going to the past here, and I'm going to the current here, back and forth. And then compared to Tsushima, I'm not an honorable person. I'm a mercenary. I traveled up north to fight in the war, whereas the previous one, I'm a samurai. I'm trying to build my honor. So this one, I'm just kind of, roaming around. I'm just a wanderer. I will say one big thing that I'm really excited about this game versus the previous one, I really like the stance system in Tsushima. The way that works is you have 4 different stances that you swap between. If they're using a shield, if they're using like a spear, if they're like a single katana, you use something specific for that. So if you're doing a shield, you switch stances. Whereas in this game, instead of stance, it's just a new weapon, which just makes it feel a little bit more dynamic. So I'm using like a spear if you're doing like a dual wield katana, or vice versa. And there's different things for every weapon that's better at that. And I actually got this armor from doing the side quests that if I'm using the right weapon, it will increase my damage and stagger, so it'll break their defense to actually hit them.
So it sounds like it's a lot more like your typical RPG type, where like one thing has a weakness and then one thing is strong against another.
Pretty much, except instead of just stances, it's different weapons, and I just like that. It's normal katana, dual wield. It's this like ball and chain that's also like a scythe. It's like all connected, and then like a spear.
Isn't that Kusurigama, I think?
Yes, I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. No, they had those in Shadows as well.
Yeah. They were my favorite. That's the first thing I did. Actually, the other day when I played for 6 hours, I meant to play for 3. I played for 6.5 hours, just doing all the side quests. I'm doing like everything on my way. I just wanted to get that weapon, and it took me 6 hours just because I was doing all the side quests on the way.
Mm-hmm. No, that's how it's been with Borderlands. Is like I could have easily gotten through all of the story quests in like 10 hours, but because the way I'm going through it, I'm like wanting to get all the collectibles before I leave an area, it's taking me so much longer. Like the way the story is divided is there's 3, kind of like how yours is, where it's like there's 3 main guys underneath the big leader that I have to take out before I can take him out. And so you kill the first one while you're kind of going through the prologue and the tutorial, and then it opens you up like, okay, you now get to choose which direction you go to, which biome, and which leader you want to kill. And so I could have done that right away.
Yeah.
But I spent another 15 hours probably in that first area, finishing and collecting everything, doing all the side quests, and then I went up to the next biome and did that.
Yeah, it's been fun though. I've been enjoying it. I know we talked about, I think last week, maybe the week before, just it is tedious, but after being able to play, and I'm guessing some of the collectibles you have to like complete, like free some camps, defeat some bandits. How have you been enjoying it? Like going through and doing all these, just trying to collect. I haven't collected everything. I'm not going to right now, but I have been taking my time. Like, oh, I want to go right there, but instead there's a bandit camp right here. I'm going to free that. I've been doing everything I could on the way.
Yeah, no, for anyone who doesn't know, I do like collecting games. Like one of my favorite like collecting games I've ever played was the Lego Skywalker Saga. That one, so fun to go around just collecting all of the like hollow bricks and stuff like that. It was just a blast to just chill in the open world and collect those things. In an RPG like this, I think it's a little more difficult because as soon as you leave like a zone where enemies spawn and then come back, they can all spawn again, and that fight takes just as long. So if I like walk outside of that area and come back while looking for a collectible, I then have to kill everybody there again, or just try and run through and ignore them, which kind of defeats the purpose. And I've already hit max level. So
I was about to say, what's the level system?
Yeah, right now the cap is 50. It's supposed to go up with the like DLC drops in the future. I'm guessing they're going to up it to 70 or 80 because that's usually where the cutoff was in the other games after their DLCs. But like I said, as of right now, I'm at the level cap. So killing enemies doesn't do anything for me except get me cash and guns, which I really don't need anymore because the only reason I would need guns is higher level guns. And I'm already at max level, so there's no point. Maybe if I'm grinding for legendaries, but if I'm going to grind for legendaries, I'm going to kill bosses, not average enemies.
Yeah.
And cash, selling weapons allows me to get cash. So I don't need to kill enemies for cash. I just pick up all the crap loot they drop and sell it at a vending machine.
Yeah.
So there's really no point for me to fight enemies anymore. Like, I don't get anything out of it. So what I've been doing in this last area is just running through and grabbing the collectible and leaving. That's literally it.
I saw something about Fallout and why people like, I think it's Fallout 3 or 4. I think it's 4 because I have heard good things. It was the fact that they had a level cap at like 30 or 40, and you get that so fast, like almost through like the first half of the story, like the first quarter of the story, you're like max level if you're really going through and completing everything, and then you can't, because of that level cap, you can't even unlock everything. Whereas in Fallout 4, it's infinite. So not only can you max out all your skills, you just keep leveling up to get some extra money or something. So you're always leveling up, so it feels more worthwhile.
Yeah, it's to a point where like, and in the past games, the Borderlands series always goes very hard on post-game content, and I still have more to unlock after I beat the story. It's just they lock it behind you have to finish the campaign first. But the past games has always been, you can hit max level, but after that, you have, I forget what they were called. Oh, they're called badass ranks in the past games, where it's like, you complete a accolade challenge, like kill X amount of these enemies or use this gun X amount of times, and you'll get like 1 medal or 1 token or whatever it's called, and you can use that to increase a skill by like a slight percentage. It's like plus 1% or plus 0.5% to movement speed, reload speed, damage, stuff like that. And you get those really quickly, and it allows you to gain them before you've unlocked the ranks themselves. So while I'm playing through this campaign, I'm already completing those challenges. I just can't spend those tokens until I beat the campaign. So as soon as I do, I get to spend all the ones I have, which already is going to be a huge skill increase, and then I get to go around and still be killing stuff and gaining those ranks, which allows me to get stronger even though I'm not leveling up.
That's good. At least there's something post max level.
Yeah.
So for
I will
Yotei,
say, go ahead. Go ahead.
So for Yotei, just all the abilities and stuff, the way it works is it's pretty similar to Shima. It's where there's just a bunch of stuff around the map. So there's hot springs that I just sit down and I kind of reflect. That increases my max health. There's bamboo trials, which I really need to find more of because that increases my resolve. That allows me to heal certain attacks that were used when resolve that I can crit almost with the ball and chain. I just kind of throw it and I lunge them. It's a guarantee unblockable hit. But that takes one of them. I only have 4. So that means I can only heal 2 times and do that attack twice, which is not very good. But there's bamboo stacks where it's 3 tiers. It's 3, it's 5, and then 7. And you just have to hit the right button combo. So, square, square, triangle, left 1, L1. And it just gets harder and harder.
That is really funny to me because that's exactly what it is in Shadows. It's you have these meditation spots where you rest and then you do this little reflection and then she says a quote and then you get something out of it. And then there's the, what are they called? Kata or something like that. But he practices his weapon
katas.
Stances.
No, I know what you mean.
It's kati. Or
Kata. It's kata.
Kata. Yeah, kata.
Katas.
That's what they call it. But yeah, he practices with the different weapons, and it's just a sequence of buttons that you press while he does the moves, and then you get the ability to unlock a new thing on the skill tree through it.
There's a lot of this was in Tsushima. However, for the bamboo, sometimes you might actually you're supposed to be drunk, so you can drink sake, and you get drunk, and everything gets blurry, and then you're throw one in the air, and then you have to hit multiple buttons while it's in the air. But then you're drunk, so then everything's wobbly. So that was cool. So you have those hot springs, and then you just have a bunch of other stuff that you upgrade. In this one, there's no levels. There's shrines I have to go bow at, and that will give me a token that I can then put into any of my abilities. So there is a lot that I kind of skipped by because I wanted to come back when I unlock a new melee weapon, I can throw it in. So there's 5 or 6 I skipped past. That way when I got the ball and chain, I can just max it out instantly because they're all really easy to get to. There's also shaman songs. Shamisen. That's the 3-string guitar type thing. And they do different things too. I actually have one where there's a wolf pet that fights with me, and I can call it to my place, so that way when I'm about to go into a stronghold, the wolf's with me and I can summon it. It will attack with me when I go into my ghost stance. And then there's a few more things. I think I have 2 more things locked. I have no idea what those are. But it's just, I think it's enjoyable doing these side things. How did you feel about that in Shadows? I know that's not what we're talking about, but doing those types of things.
Shadows, I enjoyed it a little more just because they were more interactive, and I really felt like the payoff was a little bit higher. I got more out of it by seeking these things out. It's just with Borderlands, it feels like there's less that I get out of it. I'm getting story exposition from the echo logs, but aside from that, they're just a number to collect. There's really nothing important out of them. A handful of them actually give backstory on the characters you're playing, which I think those ones are interesting, but the other ones from the random NPCs are just so useless. I shouldn't have to go collect that. That should be something that I get from completing a quest or literally talking to someone. It's so dumb, and it just feels like they've overdone all of the collectibles and that to a point where it doesn't feel fun to go and collect them.
Another big collectible, and we could talk about this now. How's the map? Visually, all that kind of stuff. But first, how did you unlock the map? Was it just you go into an area, you unlock it? Do you have to walk over it?
What do you mean, revealing zones, define it? Yeah, it's So like I said, you start in that first area, and once you beat that first area, you gain access to the other two. And you can choose whichever one you want to go to, but the revealing of the map, you do kind of have to go across it, and it defogs it as you go.
Okay. So it's the same thing. It's like everything's kind of white, but then if you walk over it, it explores. However, there's also these maps that you can get from quests, or there's a cartographer that will like unlock like a shrine location. And it was so funny because the way it works is you still have like a blueprint, like some basic lines for rivers, not the full length, but like, there's some stuff on the map that you can, and then you place the map over it. You have to find where it is, right? And before I really started, I saw people complaining, and they were trying to spam the map on every square, and they couldn't actually like just line it up. And they're really struggling. Did you hear the quote about Artemis from God of War and how he constantly spoke? He'd be like, hey, go this way. Hey, go this way. Hey, you have to come over here. He constantly telling you what to do because people are idiots. And after that map, it's like, after like all the comments are like, this is why Artemis kept yelling at you. Because players are idiots.
People hate the pop-up tutorials, but without them, this is what happens.
This is exactly. We don't like the tutorial, but legitimately 90% of the people that are playing these games need it. It was so funny. I hop on like, okay. I did it as a joke at first. I'm like, okay. And then I looked and it's like, okay, it's right here. It's not that hard. It kind of locks in too. You don't have to be right on the dot. But yeah, I've been enjoying that. Let's see.
So how have you been feeling about the story itself? I know a lot of people have been ragging on it, and like I said, I haven't played it. I haven't watched anybody play it. I might watch a playthrough at some point just because I don't have a PS5 to play it myself. But a lot of people have been like dogging on it because Sony likes to write the same kind of story over and over again. We talked about that like last week or the week before.
Yeah.
And how have you been feeling like going through and playing it? Like, do you see the similarities? Like, even though I'm sure like it is its own thing, and I'm sure it's doing its own thing well, do you see like these similarities that people are talking about, or do you think they're full of crap?
So I understand what people are saying, but I also think with the idea, and I think we kind of mentioned it, it's just the way it feels is people are looking at it, it's like, yeah, they're making this really good game of good versus evil, which is like every other game, which is good versus evil. I know it's more specific than that, but at the same time, when you really dive in, it does feel unique. Like their direct character growth and like not necessarily the flaws, because I definitely think they're a little similar, but it's like I said, like it's honor versus just revenge. Like it's very different, the way Toshima and Yotei are going about it. But at the same time, it is revenge. Like at the end of the day, that revenge is what drives her versus him trying to bring honor to his clan and Toshima. They're different, but at the same time, they are the same because there's a villain that they have to beat.
I think it's just people, and I think I haven't seen this put into words anywhere, but I think the problem that people are having is Sony likes to write stories about personal growth. And so in most of their games, that's what you're going to see is like the main character or like the secondary character. It's a story about their personal growth. And every person goes through a different kind of growth, right? Like everybody needs something different. So in each game, it is going to be different. It's going to feel different. It's going to tell a different story. But I think what people are getting tired of is that, like that trope of personal growth.
Yeah.
Instead of like telling a story about the villain or like, I don't know, a story about time travel or whatnot. Like people are, the games are good and they're getting acclaimed and people are enjoying them, but it's just a fatigue of this specific way of telling the story, not the story that's getting told.
I don't know. I think the other thing is, it's not all Sony. Like Sony's the main one. It's just kind of unfortunate, but like Sucker Punch is completely separate and they're doing their own thing versus the people that are making the God of War games.
Yeah, I mean it's just easier to say Sony than
it is.
Each
I know, but it's like
studio.
again, it's just like. It's just kind of unlucky, but it's not like Sony's. I very highly doubt Sony's like, you need to make a personal growth. They need to have this flaw and they need to overcome it by the end of the story.
I mean, it's not to say that like Sony is the one that made the decisions to purchase these studios, and I think they are very deliberately picking who they buy. Unlike
Microsoft
who I
buying
will admit, like,
everything
you're literally just buying
and shutting them
anything that's
down.
making money. I think Sony is being very deliberate with like, okay, these people make this specific kind of game. We're going to buy them and give them the resources to do that better. I think they have bought many studios that do that specific thing. Many studios
could
that
be
write
true.
those specific stories.
That could be true. I will say, like, one thing that kind of blew my mind that I was not expecting when I was playing the other day was their samurai. I'm a wanderer. I'm kind of an outlaw. There's a samurai that come up, and we're trying to go with the samurai, and we're trying to, like, just free the area that we just walked through. There's a blockade, and they killed some of the men, the samurai. So we go avenge them. And then we're sitting, and so my family died. They all dead by the Yotei 6, by the villains, right?
Mhm.
Shocker, it was my brother. I was literally like, you can watch the stream. I'm literally like, what? I was so flabbergasted. Like, what? I thought everyone was dead. It was her brother. Her brother survived, and he became a samurai.
Dang, bro.
So that was crazy. Do you know who the voice actor is for the brother?
No.
Sun Jin-woo. Like, he's going everywhere. But yeah, no, it was like, I was not expecting that at all. Like, that really caught me off guard. When I go back and play New Game Plus, I'm going to go through the story again. I really want to look to see if it was pointed at. But, like, he used a different name. Like, other than maybe the voice actor being the same, I couldn't see any story elements to say he was alive.
I mean, and this is a whole nother thing, but I think this very much speaks to not expecting a trope because it's a trope. Like, a lot of games will do this thing where it's like they're telling a story and they're acting like it's such a unique story, and then they pull a trope out of their butt, and it's like it actually worked because you didn't expect a trope out of the story. And that doesn't make it any worse. That just means they played their cards so well that they managed to make it not feel like a drag to do the same thing again. Because that's basically exactly what happened in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, obviously everybody knows the story now because it's been out for so long, but when it first came out, people were not expecting the male character to be the brother. Like, nobody was expecting that. Obviously, Cassandra was like the canon one, so I don't remember his name. Alexios was the brother, but he used a different name, Demos, throughout the story, and it was only when he was revealed to be the brother that he started to use the other name. And I don't know, it was like, it was a good reveal, and it was just, despite it being a trope, they played their cards the right way, like telling you that your brother died. Like, you saw him get thrown off a cliff into the raging waters. Like, there's no way you would have expected him to live, but he did somehow. And the way they played that, just like having you know that from the beginning as a truth, and then revealing later that you were lied to, they played it well enough that it didn't feel like a thing that brought the story to a negative.
Yeah. So that was really fun. I guess another thing while I'm going through, because I'm just looking at like UI and just the stuff I've done, was, so another cool thing I really liked was, what's it called? The duels. Was there any like main, so like the generals, right? Like, you had the 3. Was there any underlings below them, like around the map? Or was it really just like, when it comes to like players with like main boss health bar type of things, was it just those 3?
Borderlands is a little weird with that because of the kind of shooter it is. They throw a lot of enemies at you all the time, and so there were definitely, like, obviously there were the 3 big bosses, and they're the only ones, apart from like special missions or like the event ones, that have like that pasted health bar at the top of the screen. There are mini bosses that will spawn in specific like fights, or like while you're doing a specific quest. Like, you can get mini bosses out of it, but like there aren't any story related bosses under them that have any like major significance.
Okay. So the way it worked for Yotei was one thing that was really cool. These are like bounties that I'm collecting. They might have them. Or when I'm going to unlock my abilities, right? My stances, my different weapons. There is So, example, there's one for dual-wield katanas. There's 5 dueling trees around the map that I have to go to, and then I'm dueling these people that are standing at these trees waiting for their dual-wield master that they've never actually met before, by the way. They're just like, if I sit here and I show my honor, I show my strength, he'll come to me. And so I fight them, and I'm, again, trying to bob and weave. It's just one-on-one. I actually, today, finally beat that master, but I didn't kill him. I showed him I'm strong enough, and then apparently once I max out and unlock his 5 charms, which like 5 different abilities, I have to go fight him again, and people are saying this is one of the hardest bosses of the entire year. But that's specifically on like the highest difficulty. Like if you don't have it maxed, if you don't have your health bar maxed out and you have decent defense, you're one shot. Like you can't miss. And the dodging windows, like to parry and everything, are apparently more strict than Elden Ring, people were saying. So I'm not playing on lethal difficulty. So I really hope I don't struggle that much. But it was a little rough. It wasn't too bad, but like when I get there, that is like top. That's not final boss, but apparently it's one of those side bosses that's just way more difficult than the original. His name is the Unbeatable or something, or the Invincible. So, but I've been really enjoying doing these just duels. I just kind of sit there, we just face off, and then the health bar pops up, and you're just bobbing and weaving. Again, they might have different weapons, then you have to swap your weapons. They pull out a spear, you pull out your dual-wield katanas. They have a shield, you pull out your ball and chain.
Yeah, no, almost every game has a mechanic kind of like that, where, like, even in Borderlands, it's the elements are how they work it. Like, if you have a metal enemy like a android or something, you have to use a corrosive weapon because it burns through armor. If they have a shield on, you have to use an electric weapon because that'll deactivate their shield.
But I've been very, very much enjoying that side of it. I think the combat is really good in this game. I will say I do like the story too. I will say the not voice acting, but just the NPC movement is definitely where it falls short. It's just they kind of stand there a little bit. But I say the combat-wise, it is probably my favorite I've ever played. Like over God of War, over Spider-Man, over Tsushima. I think this is like the favorite combat I've had in like these type of games.
Yeah.
Anything else about Borderlands? And how much time do we have? I'm assuming
we're at 42 minutes.
Oh, only 42. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're good. We got time.
We are chilling. So obviously neither of us can talk about the ending because we haven't unlocked the ending.
Yes, I haven't gotten all the way there yet. Like I said, I'm in the final zone, which is like the city in the middle. I'm as a collector, it's kind of annoying me this last area because there are certain things that I can't collect until I beat certain side quests within the city, but I can't reach those side quests because the zones that those side quests are in are locked behind the campaign. So I have to like proceed in the campaign while also collecting everything that I can, but like I can't collect everything in that area, but I have to leave that area, and currently I'm locked in a certain area after not having collected everything in the last area until I complete a story quest in this area, but I don't want to complete that story quest in this area until I collect everything in this area.
That's a lot of area.
Yeah, it's a lot there. And as a collector, it's really annoying me because there's like 3 or 4 things in the last area that I need to go get still, but I can't fast travel because I am locked down by this stinking guy.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I know. I can't wait though, because obviously there's one part of the map that I have not gone because that is where the main guy is, and I've just kind of stayed away. I haven't really seen much about him. There is 6 members of Yotei 6. I've defeated once. There's 5 left. I only have like the mission for 3 of them, so there's 2 more, and there's a lot of the map that I still haven't like gone to at all. Is there any like another thing that was interesting that was a little rough of a mission was the snow area? There's like frostburn. I have to be careful of that. Is there anything like that you have to like watch out for, like acid or freezing or hot
kinda so
areas?
The one area is kind of like a desert, and there are like some acid pools around. But the main way that Borderlands uses that is they'll have enemy types inflict that kind of damage. So if you're in a certain area, you'll find more frozen enemies or more acid enemies or more fire enemies. And so they will be your challenge in combat. And you have to, like, equip specific weapons to help deal with them.
Yeah.
It's less environment
Okay.
affection than enemy affection.
I will say from what I've played, that's the only one. It's just the frozen, like, and it mostly just affects. After I did the story where I unlocked the one weapon in that area that trained me to like conquer the cold, but I still have to be careful because it'll give me like frostburn, and it will lock my health. It'll like take a quarter of my health that I can't have access to until I warm up again. What is the not fast travel? What is the main travel? Because for Yotei, like I said, you have the horse, and then you have the white flowers that let you run a lot faster.
Yeah, in Borderlands, it's just the destructive vehicle, which you literally you press right on the D-pad and you hop on like your floaty hover bike kind of thing, and you can unlock different versions of it by doing side quests and stuff, but it's mostly the same. And then you have you can basically get different engines for it, and or I guess better put, you start with every engine at rank 1, and you can pick. They're all good at different things, like some are better at handling, some are better at speed, you know, your typical racer select kind of thing. And then as you do side quests, you'll get like a rank for this engine or a rank for that engine, and different ones will end up being better than others, so you're kind of swapping it as you go.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's not my favorite part of the game. I think it could have been done a little better, but it's there, and it allows you to choose the kind of vehicle that you want to travel the terrain with, so it's not terrible.
One thing I'm looking forward to, you said New Game Plus is out for Borderlands 4?
Kinda. Did I explain it to you yet?
You did, and you weren't happy. I just wasn't sure if it's out yet because it's so new. I feel like sometimes that's an update that drops shortly after.
Yeah, no, it's out, but like it's not a New Game Plus. It's you start a new character at level 30 with the campaign already completed. Like that is New Game Plus here. Because you can go back into the world with the character you already have, but you can't replay the campaign unless you choose the mission specifically, like one specific quest in your UI, and you can click replay on it and allows you to replay just that. But I think it technically loads like a previous game state and allows you to replay it, and then puts you back in your game state you were in when you loaded it when you complete it.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's not the best, and I think that's probably one of the biggest downsides of the change in genre for Borderlands here is the way that they did it before was working so well, and now it's to a point where I don't want to start another character because I don't want to start from square one because I've already 100% of the game. But I also I want to, because I paid for the best version, right? And the best version comes with 2 additional characters that you get to play, like 2 additional play styles. And I want to be able to use those, but I don't want to just use it collecting things again.
Because you already did that. Like, it's not a new experience. You're just doing the same thing. It's just you're collecting this thing with a different person. You're not like playing the game differently.
Yeah. But I also don't want to start from completely square one because what am I going to do? Like, just go and rush through the story? Like, that's not going to give me an accurate representation of the character.
So maybe we do get a proper New Game Plus with the DLC.
I mean, I hope so. Like, I hope they listen and hear people being upset about this, because it really sucks as somebody who likes to use New Game Plus for that purpose of exploring other things.
Though like, maybe I wish I could just not a real fan.
Bruh, I own every single game physically. I bought the Steelbook for $3, and I'm trying to hunt down the Steelbook for $4, but apparently it only exists in frickin' Canada.
Oh, that sucks. I'm more so just making fun of the CEO.
Sigh.
Just deal with the changes. If you're a real fan, you'll find a way.
Sigh.
One thing that I'm interested in is, I don't know if this is a DLC for Tsushima. There's this thing called Legends mode, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but I think it's like a hardcore, like harder version. But it's not a difficulty. It's a completely new thing, like Legend, like New Game Plus. I can choose New Game Plus or Legends. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't, like I said, I kind of did brush through Tsushima to get it finished for Yotei, so I haven't played a lot of it. But the reason I'm excited is, with how this game is, I would love to start from scratch on New Game Plus, like just completely, and this Legends mode, which will make it harder. But I don't know what that does. It's not out yet. But
I
don't know if
imagine
that
it
was
would
a
be something
DLC.
similar to kind of like how Jedi Survivor did it, where after you beat the game, you got this like I forget what they're called in that game, but they're like mods to your character that you can put on. And it makes it so that every encounter, instead of just raising the difficulty and like giving them more health and whatnot, making them spongier, it changes every group of enemies you face to more difficult enemies. So like, say you would fight 3 droids in this one area. Well, now it's like one big brute enemy that you have to fight, and it's a lot harder, but it's not because the enemies have more health or you take more damage. It's just because every encounter has now changed to something that is going to challenge you more.
So it's kind of like master mode on Breath of the Wild. Like if you go to master mode, they all like go up a tier, or instead of like a normal person, it's a big brute type of thing. Like every enemy on the island has gone up a tier or changed.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like. I don't know if we're gonna get it. I don't know if that was just a Tsushima thing. They also, I think I saw someone say that there's not currently DLC for Yotei, but if people want it, they'll bring it. I don't know. I'm assuming they probably at least have a little something, and I hope there's more content. But yeah, so I don't know like what the future of the game looks like, but I will say for what there is, like I'll definitely play on a higher difficulty, and if there is New Game Plus, I'll definitely be playing it.
How is the story for replayability? Like, is there like dialogue options in the game?
There is. It kind of gives you 2 options, but it's kind of like a lot of it's a little bit be a little bit more passive versus hostile. It's like, wouldn't you like to know? It's like my family, like they're honest and peaceful, or they're a little bit more hostile and snappy. Like there's definitely different ones. I would say it's not the biggest change so far, but again, I've kind of been pretty sporadic with the story. Like I haven't actually engaged with the story much. I've been doing a lot of side missions, just freeing the area, unlocking new upgrades and charms, and doing all this side stuff.
So based on these 2 games, what do you think that this series like does best? Like whether it's part of the story or mechanic or anything like that, the style, what do you think this series does best?
I honestly would probably say the combat. I think the combat work just works really well. I think it is very fluid, and there's story behind it, right? In order to get this certain ability, I have to do these side missions to unlock this one ability with the weapon by going back to the master. Like, I'm still their students. And then in Tsushima, I learn archery. Well, that guy is the one that actually helped me free and defeat the final guy. Like, they're allies till the end. I wouldn't be surprised if these 4 masters eventually help me free the area and like bring vengeance at the end. More so than just, here's your weapon, go.
Yeah, because a lot of games will do it where it's just like your character's already good at fighting and you just learn new moves as you go.
But like I actually like sit there and train. So like in the dual wheel, so like when I just did the spear today, there's a little fish pond and I have to stab it, but I don't know how. And then I learned to paint again with the touchpad, and that makes my wrist more fluid. And then because of that, I can go back and I'm better with the spear, but then I can come back and learn a special ability with the spear after I do these 3 missions and I get an upgrade to it through one of the shrines. And there's one more melee weapon, which I don't know what it is yet, because I already have my 4 stances, right? There's not another button, but there's one more tree that I haven't unlocked yet. I'm also really hoping I unlock muskets, because they are in the game, but mostly the enemy uses it versus the good people. So I'm really hoping I unlock that versus just bows, because it's just the heavy bow and like short bow. How about you?
With Borderlands, I don't know. A lot of what they do in the game is like very basic for the genre. It's not that crazy, but I think the part that I've always enjoyed the most is the characters. Like, this team is great at writing good characters, especially when it comes to psychotic characters. Like, the thing that made Borderlands popular was in the second game, handsome Jack. Like he was a psychopath, like through and through. Like he was a absolutely insane guy who was out to kill you because you were after the treasure that he was after. It was like they did such a great job writing him, and every psychotic character they've written after that has been so good. Even in this game, like, spoilers for the big reveal, but the character that dies in the beginning that like helped you escape from the facility you were captured in, he is revealed to still be alive, but he was being experimented on by the big boss during your entire journey. So he's like psychotic now and is out to kill you because, I don't know, you didn't help him. I haven't gotten any more from him since I like found out he was a psychopath now, but like he has these like crazy powers that he wasn't supposed to have because they were trying to like replicate these magical beings that exist. And so he's like unstable mentally and physically. They just do such a good job at writing those kinds of characters. It just feels like it's such a natural thing for them to be psychotic.
Okay. I'd also probably say they like hone their art style, not just for like visual, but like the guns and just everything. I feel like it really hones it. And when you look at something, generally I look at it and I think it's Borderlands. Like that's the first thing I think of.
Yeah, no.
Like an identity. We've talked about that a lot. I think they've honed their identity.
It's very, very signature. Like you can tell when something is Borderlands as opposed to just like some other comic-esque cel-shaded object.
Completely unrelated, because I just opened Twitter. Apparently Fortnite X Space Jam might be a new game mode.
A game mode? Hold on.
I don't know. That's not what we're talking about. But hey, just a little Fortnite drop right there at the end.
I wonder if that's
Fortnite
like the basketball mode or whatever that was rumored to be a thing a while back.
UEFN collab has characters tackling. I don't know. So, how much time? I'm assuming we're coming up near the end.
4 minutes.
All right. So with the end, what is the one thing that you'd want to see Borderlands 4 improve on? More in gameplay. I feel like New Game Plus is more replay, but like the strict core game, what would you want to see change?
Definitely collectibles. I think the open world is cool and it's nice to see them trying something new, but I do not think they hit the mark when it came to filling that open world with things to do. There are certain things like kind of like camps, like there are big like roaming rovers and drills and stuff that you have to take out and clear. Those are cool. I want to see more of that as opposed to go around and collect 15 echo logs in this tiny zone. Like that is just stupid and tedious.
You're not having with your 500 Korok seeds. I would never complete the Korok quests in Zelda. Anyway, I'd say probably just the dialogue and NPCs. I will say they're better than Tsushima, but I'd say that's the weakest part. Like, you just kind of look at it, and it looks a little bad. Like, they look realistic, and I'd say, like, the face models and, like, the actual voice acting is good, but it's just they kind of stand there. Or I'm talking to them, and it's kind of just bland in the background. Like, no one's really doing much. So I think that's, like, the big thing. That just, for story-wise, would make it so much more fluid. I'm really looking forward to, like, Witcher 4, and, like, we looked at the crowds. If I'm interacting in there, I'm very much expecting there's gonna be a lot going on around me, and they're not just gonna stand there. They're gonna, like, move. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But I'd say that'd be the biggest flaw. Of course, I have not played and, like, unlocked. Like, I only just got the weapon today. There's more weapons that I haven't unlocked, so there's definitely more to Yotei that I haven't played, and maybe there's other stuff that gets even better, but I'd say that right there is the biggest thing. So out of 10.
Out of 10, probably
total
7.
And franchise.
7 for the game. Franchise, I mean, I love Borderlands, so it's probably a 9 for me.
Okay. I'm going to say probably a 9 for the game, and the franchise is probably a 7. I'd say I like the setting of God of War a little bit better, so there's just a few other games that I like that a little bit more, but, like, it is a solid game.
Definitely.
Anyway, if you guys
That's what we've been playing.
have a favorite game, let us know in the Discord or the comments of something.
Yup, totally. And follow our medias.
Nerd Rant Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and something else.
yeah. Go
Fine, that's
listen to
something
us
else. It's a
on
mystery.
some niche podcasting platform that we're probably on.
I'm Dr. Zamrin.
I mean,
Peace.